Uh, in this video, we are going to see the applications of peer-to-peer architecture. In the last video, we have discussed about peer-to-peer architecture and what is the difference between peer-to-peer architecture and the client-server architecture. And if you see the applications of peer-to-peer architecture, we have seen only BitTorrent in the last video. The other applications are distributed hash table, in which we will be seeing hash table, DHT paradiagram, circular DHT and overlay networks, and the peer churn. So these are the topics which we are going to see in this video. Yes, simple database. If you take a simple database, every database will be having key value pair. Okay, if I want to retrieve any data from the database, what should I give? I should give the key value with which key, so that I can get the corresponding value of it. See, if you take Aadhaar card, if you give the Aadhaar number, it will provide you, the database will be providing you with the name or the address. So key is here Aadhaar number and the value may be name or address. So this is what key value pair is. So here they have given this example. In this, the key is name, that is John Washington is a key, and for its the corresponding value is his SSN number. Then hash table, more convenient to store and search on numerical representation of key. Yes, key is equal to hash of original key. See, instead of saving the key directly in the database, here in the hash table, we are going to apply hash on the original key, and whatever the output we are going to get, that will be saved as the key in the database. So we are not going to save the key as the Johnson Washington. Instead, I am going to apply hash on Johnson Washington, and whatever the integer I am getting, that will be saved as the key in the database. So what is the hash value of John Washington? It is nothing but 8962458. So for this key, what is the USN? It is, sorry, SSN number for John Washington, that is nothing but 132.54.3570. So the difference between the database and the hash table is, in the database the key is directly stored and its corresponding values are also stored, whereas in the hash table the original key will not be stored. Instead, they will apply hash on the original key, and for hashed value the corresponding values will be stored in the hash table. So distributed hash table. So if I have only one hash table for the entire world, it is possible for the server to provide the service to the millions of peers? No, it is not possible. So we have to distribute the database. How to distribute this key value pair? That's what we are going to see. So distributing key value pairs over millions of peers. Peers are evenly distributed over peers. So every pairs are evenly. So every peers will be having the key value pair. Okay, it is not necessary that is what peer-to-peer architecture, right? So the server will not be having all the data. Instead, the data will be distributed to all the peers. So any peer which is interested in the particular data can ask the peer which is having that particular data. This is what peer-to-peer architecture. So since we have the data as in the form of key value pair, this key value pair will be distributed to all the peers. So whoever is interested in the Aadhaar and the Aadhaar card number is key. Okay, we will consider that as Aadhaar card number is key, and the value will be the name of that person. Okay, name in the name corresponding to that Aadhaar number. Okay, so if my Aadhaar number is 23, so the peer whose identification is close to 23 will be having this value, key value pair. That is nothing but distributed. This is how we are going to distribute the key value pair to all the peers. So that if any peer wants 23, wants the Aadhaar name of the name of the citizen whose Aadhaar number is 23, then he will contact the peer which is closer to this number called 23. So the pair which is closer to the number 23 is 25. So 25 is responsible to provide the key value pair. Clear? This is how distributed hash table works. Okay, we'll see this. Any pair can query database with a key. Yes. Database returns value for the key. To resolve query, a small number of messages exchanged among pairs. Each pair only knows about a small number of other pairs. Every pair will be knowing only the small number of it. Will not communicate with so many number of pairs. Robust to pairs coming and going. So churn is nothing but whichever enters and leaves are called churn. So assigning key value pairs to pairs. This is what I said. So assigning key value pair to the pair that has the closest ID. Closest is the immediate successor of the key. That is ID space is equal to 0 to 63. Suppose 8 pairs are there called whose ID is 1, 12, 13, 25, 32, 40, 48, 60. These are the number of 8 pairs whose ID is these things. Okay. If key is equal to 51. If anybody is having the Aadhaar number as 51, then this key value pair will be given to the pair which is closest to this value. So who is closest to this value? Key is equal to 51. So the closest one is 48. So I will give the key value pair, that is 51 comma its value. If Aadhaar number is 51, the name is Harish we will consider. Okay, 51 comma Harish. This data will be given to the closest pair. Who is the closest pair in this value? It is 48. The pair whose ID is 48 is closest to the value called key, the value 51. So I will give the key value pair, that is 51 comma Harish to 48. Okay. Each pair only aware of immediate successor, and so if at all any pair asks for the value called 51, then it will be directed. Here it will be seen which is closer to 51. So 48 is closer to 51. So the server will be directing the query to the pair called 48, who the pair will be providing it with the key value pair. This is how DHT works. Next is circular DHT. Here what happens, each pair is only aware of the immediate successor and the predecessor. In the previous slide we saw that a group of pairs, every pair will be knowing a few number of pairs in its own group or in the subset of the pairs. But here every pair will be knowing its own successor and only the predecessor. That's it. So this is overlay network and resolving a query. So how to resolve the query? So now it comes, what is the value associated with the key 53? Somebody is asking what is the name of the Aadhaar card number, that is 53. Okay, so it should be routed. The question is, the query is going to pair number 12, pair whose identity is 12. So what it will do? It will, since the 12 knows, since it is circular DHT, 12 knows about only 1 and 13. So it forwards it to 13, then 25, 32, 40, 48 and 60. Since 53 is closest to either 48 and the 60. So any one of these pairs will be having the data or the value for the key 53, that is Harish, right? So on the 60 is having the value, that is Harish. So it is giving the reply to 12. So what happens to get the reply? It sends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 messages, or 6 times the query has been forwarded to reach the destination, that is pair number 60. Since it is a time consuming process, they have invented a shortcut. That is, so every pair will be connected to 2 more pairs apart from the predecessor and the successor. So if at all any query comes, it will be sending it to the shortcut. Instead of sending to 13, 25, 32, 40, 48, 12 will be sending directly to 48, so that the number of queries that has been forwarded will be, the number of forwarded messages will be less. So each pair keeps track of IP addresses of the predecessor as successor and also the shortcuts. Okay, so 12 will be forwarding the query directly to 48 instead of forwarding it to all the nodes in between, intermediate nodes. So as I said, it moves directly to 60. Next comes handling pair churn. So churn is always pairs whichever comes in and goes out. So how it is going to keep track? Each pair knows address of its two successors. Okay, so if I take 3, it will be knowing the address of the successors, that is 4 and 5. IP address of the successor. Each pair periodically pings its two successor to check aliveness. How it will be checking that all the other pairs are alive, or its two successors are alive, by sending the ping messages periodically. If immediate successor leaves, then it should choose the next successor as a new immediate successor. For example, if 4 leaves, then now who will be the immediate successor for 3? 5 will be the immediate successor of 3, and the next successor would be 8. So it requires the IP address or the address of both 5 and 8. So it will ask the pair. So it gets the address and it will be saving in it. This is how, if any new pair enters also, it should register, and the immediate predecessor and the successor of the newly entered pair will be notified that I have entered into the churn. So this is how pair churn works. Just it gives the information about who is coming in and going out using the ping messages, so that every pair will be knowing the immediate address of the immediate two successors. That's it. Hope you would have understood better. Thank you so much.